Came in.
Welcome back to the Morning Blend. Growing up, I always thought Betty Crocker was real. She had the best recipes, yes, all the answers about cooking, and she was always so put together. Turns out there were lots of Bettys. There are just 8 of them. There are more. An advertising company made her up to sell cookbooks, I have one of them, and products, and over the years, her face changed.
The truth about Betty Crocker is the inspiration for this new novel called The Sisters of Summit Avenue. Lynn Cullen is the author, and she joins us now to chat about her book. And Lynn, we've got to know, because is it true that you went to Minneapolis to once meet Betty Crocker?
Yes, and I had the same experience people had back in the 30s and 40s. You know, she was very popular, more than we realize today. She had a radio show, and she also gave out advice. People wrote 5,000 letters a day to her.
Wow.
She was like the Dear Abby of cooking.
She was. She was. And so she'd be on the radio saying, please come to see me in my kitchen. And even in the Depression, which you wouldn't think they could do this, but people would come during the Depression, they'd show up, and there they'd be gently told, well, there's 21 of us, you know, isn't that just as good? And no, people would cry. They had boxes of tissues all over the kitchen.
No way.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Did you know going in? Did you already know, or did you find out when you got there?
No, I heard that.
Okay.
And in fact, now it's, you know, she's kind of really just a red spoon when you know, that's the company logo. She was, you know, more of a person then. So now there's very little. If you go to the headquarters, there's no archives or there's nothing. So I went there myself, and I had, you know, I could have sobbed into my own tissues. You know?
That's so fun. I just think it's great looking at and there's 21 different Bettys, right, in the Betty Crocker history.
At that time.
At that time.
And this is 34.
Yeah, and so I think what's fascinating is they'd sort of update her hairstyle. Her outfit would always stay the same color, but that would just kind of change with the times.
Well,
you know,
you'd think that would clue people in that she wasn't real. But when I go places and talk about her, there's always someone who goes, oh, she's not real. I mean, to this day, but they did a very convincing job of making her real to us.
I think it's fascinating. So talk a little bit about your book, The Sisters of Summit Avenue. This is about 2 sisters who have somewhat of a rivalry.
Yes, yes.
Just a little.
Yes, I come by this honestly. I'm one of 5 sisters. I'm the youngest sister. And I know, as much as I love them, the competition, and maybe I felt it because I was the youngest and I wanted to be them. And I could just see that in them. And I also have it with my 3 daughters. The competition that they have. They love each other, but that just really intrigues me. So that was an element. And then another element is, now that my daughters are adults, when they became college age, I wanted to be peers with them. And I found that, no, they really want me to be mom. and they're
not a college buddy.
Yeah, I mean, and I didn't want to, you know, act, you know, whoop it up with them or anything, though actually we do. But, you know, I just wanted to be on the same level. And so it made me just think a lot about how we don't really, even with our closest people in our lives, we can't really show our real selves. So I deal with that a lot in the book, how we just, you know, we want to, but there's just, that's part of the human condition.
Yeah. I love that. One of the other topics you explore is this unexplained sleeping sickness. It was an epidemic that killed millions of people worldwide and left others sort of like in this zombie state.
Yes. I come by this, again, honestly, my grandfather had this, because so many people I talk to say, I've never heard of that. And here it killed millions of people. It swept through the U.S., actually across the world, from 1916 to 1926. And it killed millions of people. Even the richest man in America's wife, J.P. Morgan's wife, died of it. But dying was almost the best thing that could happen to you with it, because the after effect for many people left them incapable of moving. You know, what they would do is fall asleep. They had their bodies were in perfect shape, but they would just, like in the act of, say, they were to touch their nose, they would just fall asleep in the middle of that. And so my grandfather the memory our family has is just him kind of being in the background, just lying on a couch. You know, he just couldn't participate.
Yeah.
That's
so
sad.
That's something that's featured in the book. The two sisters, one of them who is a Betty in the book. You can get a copy and go to this event tonight. It's at the Lynden Sculpture Garden for the book signing. It's at 7 o'clock. It is a ticketed event. Go to lynncullen.com to learn more and to get a copy of The Sisters of Summit Avenue, because they live on Summit Avenue in St. Paul. I know where that is.
That's so cool. Great to meet you.
Thanks for being
Thanks for being
Thank
here.
you.
Appreciate it.